Good evening. In consideration of the time constraints, I'm just going to welcome you to a Women's uh, Month celebration. It's an activity that we have every year, and it's always well attended. I think that as a school district, we ought to be conscious of the rights and participation of all citizens, and women, of course, make up about half of the population, if not a little more. So obviously, you have a big say as women about the future of this country. So welcome, and I look forward to the rest of the celebration.
Thank you, President Garcia. And women do indeed make up about 51% of the population. And so it's more than appropriate that we recognize women, young women of accomplishment at this time of year and throughout the year, particularly during Women's History Month. I'd like to first have Ms. Nancy Scarborough come forward and make brief remarks. Ms. Scarborough.
Good evening, and I'd like to say congratulations to all the young women tonight on behalf of the Susan B. Anthony House for your award. There'll be not a state, a location in this country where you go that name will not be recognized, even internationally. People will know what that means, that you won this. So who was Susan B. Anthony? I have about 60 seconds to sum this up, so let's see how we can do. First of all, she was one of your neighbors. Madison Street, where she lived the last 40 years of her life, and the most productive part of her life, is right down the street. And we invite you always to come visit us at the Susan B. Anthony House. Secondly, the causes she supported. She's most known for her work getting the vote for women, although that didn't happen in her lifetime. But she was a suffragist, an abolitionist, a women's rights campaigner, an educational reformer, a labor activist, a temperance worker, a historian, and an author. And she was unbelievably focused and never gave up on anything. And what I think is important is that we need to remember also that she was a living, breathing woman who had dreams and disappointments just like you and I had. That, in many ways, is a part of her legacy. So an attempt to try to focus in and think, if I were Susan B. Anthony right now and I were looking at you, what would I be saying? I'll tell you, in the spirit of what she said, her very last speech, I think this is absolutely the perfect moment. She knew she would not live to see women get the right to vote. She knew there were many more issues that needed to be dealt with. But she looked out at an audience such as yourself, and she said, I have such faith in what I see. I know that although I won't be here, you people will be able to carry on with where I left off and move things along. And her final words were, and that's why I believe failure is impossible, which is where we take the motto that we use from Ms. Anthony. So again, I cannot congratulate you more. I think it is such an honor, and I have each and every one of your names, and so we look forward to having you come down and visit us, and we will treat you with the regalness that you deserve to be treated with. And I thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ms. Scarborough. As you can see in your program, Ms. Scarborough is a volunteer with the Susan B. Anthony House, and we couldn't do a lot of what we do in this community without volunteers, so thank you so much for your words. And the young women we're going to introduce this evening will definitely leave their own legacy. They may not be around, they may not be in Rochester to see the fruits of their efforts and their inspiration, but they definitely will leave their own legacy. And so your words were profound in that way. From Charlotte High School, to have Joyce Calba come forward to introduce the awardee from Charlotte High. Charlotte.
Good evening. Oops. Thank you. It's my pleasure to present this award to Melissa Atkins. Melissa is a student that's involved in the Charlotte High School community and her own community at many levels. First of all, I'm the librarian at Charlotte, and she has been my right-hand man since she started volunteering in the library in 2002 as an 8th grader, right, Melissa? And she has volunteered during her lunchtime, during her free time, and even during her summertime. She came in last summer during the last week of school to help me get all the books back in order and move all the books on the shelves to open it, because we were renovated over the summer, to be able to open it the first day of school. She's also been involved in the drama club in a leadership role, and she is involved in the peer tutoring program and the peer conflict resolution. Outside of school, I know she's involved with her youth group at her church and has traveled to Texas and Georgia. So Melissa, you're the best, and congratulations.
Okay. Hi. I really didn't know I was supposed to say anything, but I guess I should say thank you to Miss Koba, and pretty much just be yourselves.
Next, I'd like to ask Margaret Braswell, the assistant principal from East High School, to come forward. She's going to introduce Gretchen Rodriguez.
Gretchen is a very determined young lady who excels in a fairly untraditional area for a woman, which is computer technology. She aspires to pursue a career in computer programming and game development. Her artistic talent has led her to pursue classes at East High that will prepare her for college success. She studies art and computers and is a member of the East High Anemone Club. She is a student in East High's National Academy of Informational Technology. An honor student, she is very quiet but very determined. She also sets about with all that she does with great maturity and has set very high goals for herself. Her choice of studies and career often place her in classes in which she is the only female student. This does not faze her in the least. But like Susan B. Anthony, Gretchen marches on toward her goal, although somewhat more quietly. We at East are very proud of her determination in challenging herself in a very difficult field of study. Congratulations, Gretchen.
Thank you. I'm sorry, I'm a bit nervous. I just thank my teacher, Miss Gross, and all my other friends, which has helped me get this far. Thank you.
Good evening. It is with our pleasure at Thomas Jefferson High School to present Miss Eileen Maria Santiago with this award. We are very proud of Eileen and all of her accomplishments. She is a recipient of many awards and achievements, such as Martin Luther King Ambassador for Peace Award, an ASAR Award recipient, PRYD Leadership in Volunteering, nominated for Global Young Leaders Conference, currently on the High Honor Roll and in the top 10% of her graduating class. She's the president of Thomas Jefferson Student Body. She participates in the Poetry Slam, Media Club, Drama Club, and also paid for her full trip to Mexico for the Spanish Club. She also has just received indication that she has been accepted to St. John Fisher on a full scholarship.
I am very honored today to be receiving such a prestigious award such as the Susan B. Anthony Award. I gotta say thank you to all my Jefferson family, because I wouldn't go so far if it wasn't for them. Thank you.
I may get the hook, but I'm going to try and speak fast. As with all the recipients of today's award, Allison Pedens excelled in the areas of leadership, community service, and academics. It has been a true joy to watch her blossom into the musician, leader, friend, and colleague that she is today. In the string program, she has become a pillar of excellence and a model of dependability. She has attended the Eastman Pathway Scholarship Program for the past 3 years. She is a part of the Eastman String Fellowship Orchestra. She received the Kevin Coughlin Award for Musical Excellence. She has been the leader of the first violin section at SOTA for the last 3 years. She has led the SOTA Chamber Music Program, and she is debuting as the fiddler in our upcoming Fiddler on the Roof productions. She has also equally excelled at piano and will soon be entering the college of her choice as a piano music education major. The true value I have found in Allison as a fellow teacher in the classroom. I have come to depend on her in the classroom to help out with students. She always, many times, anticipates what's needed, and she's been willing to do whatever I ask of her, whether it's filing music, play a different part, help out a beginner violinist. She's going to be sorely missed by me, my colleagues, and her fellow students. Academically, she's also excelled. She's been on the High Honor Roll with distinction for all of her years at SOTA. Received the Kodak Young Leaders Award, and among other awards. She also is continually helping her fellow students in the areas of academics as well. She's made extensive time for volunteer work with her church, and she's even helped make Rochester more beautiful by being part of the Rochester Blossoms program, which is planting gardens in city neighborhoods. So, again, I easily see her as a fellow teacher, and I'm glad to present her with this award.
I'd just like to take this opportunity to say a few words. I know that without the support of many different teachers, including Miss Perry and John Gabriel at school, and along with my school counselor, Lisa Kasdan, I would never have gotten this far, as well as my family members have provided me so much support over the past few years, and I just really, I feel like this is such an honor to receive this award, but I feel like I'm the recipient only because of so many others that have just contributed to my life. So I just want to thank all of you that have had this wonderful effect on my life.
I think you can tell by the number of us that came tonight to support Selena in this award how much she's sort of touched all of us. Her senior high vice principal, Mr. Chrisman, her Wegmans Work Scholarship advocate, which Selena couldn't survive without, Miss Lewis, and Miss Lathith, her senior school counselor. The list of Selena's accomplishments at Dr. Freddie Thomas could go on and on and on. She's in the top 5 of her class and will probably be the first graduate ever of Dr. Freddie Thomas. So congratulations.
I don't know what to say. This is just such a surprise for me. I just want to thank you guys. Since it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be where I'm at right now because y'all done so much for me. Y'all supported me. And I'd like to thank my mother too because she's always been there for me also. Thank you.
I'm sorry that Ashley isn't present today, but I would like to say a few words about her. Ashley is, like Susan B. Anthony, she is a scholar, a stellar student with a stellar academic record. She's graduating 3rd in her class with a 3.78 grade point average. She also, like Susan B. Anthony, is very civic-minded. She volunteers for elementary school students as a big sister and mentor at number 41 school. And she is recognized as an Urban League Black Scholar. Ashley has a quiet disposition, but she is very determined to pursue a college major in psychology at either the University of Chicago, University of Buffalo, or Quinnipiac University. So I'm happy to stand here on her behalf And I'm sorry that she wasn't here today to receive this award, but I will accept it on her behalf. Thank you.
Thank you very much. As you can see, there's a recurrent theme running through the evening. You're hearing about young women who are quiet, determined, focused, which is why they're receiving the Susan B. Anthony Leadership Award, some of the same attributes that Susan B. Anthony possessed.
Hi, I am honored to announce that Nika Reed is identified as our Susan B. Anthony recipient. She is one of our top 10 seniors, high honor roll recipient. She is recognized as a Black scholar. She has majored in the automotive technician's field, certainly a non-traditional role for a young woman. She has volunteered for the Center of Youth, and ADAPT was an organization that advocates for the disabled. Her future goals are pursuing the geriatric fields of medicine, and she has been accepted to the State University of New York at Canton. Thank you, Nika. Thank you.
I would like to take this opportunity to thank my mother, my grandmother, God, and to say this one little excerpt to you. You have to be seen as a difference in order to make a difference. As I look around in my society, it screams to me, make a difference. And I will, because this award right here demonstrates to me that I make a difference.
Candice is our valedictorian for the class of 2007 of the School of Business, Finance, and Entrepreneurship. Mostly an all-A student, right, Candice, pretty much. I think never had less than A, always an honor roll with distinction. Taken numerous honors and AP courses, then taken easy schedule. Was one of the starting members, student body members of the school store, one of our entrepreneurial exercises that we're using for student experience, job experience. Has been recently recognized with some well-deserved publicity. Candice has been accepted at Lincoln University, Rochester Institute of Technology, University of Rochester, and Columbia University. And really, our school of business is certainly a better place because of Candice, and I'm honored to recognize her and introduce her tonight. Thank you.
I would like to thank all the staff at our school, including Mr. Bardino, for putting me up for such honor. Without them, I wouldn't be here. With their much needed support and appreciation of everything I do, as well as my mother, who's been there all throughout my life to give me support, and my sisters as well. Thank you.
Yes,
I'd like to start by saying that it's an honor for me to stand here and introduce Kelly Hudson. She just makes our school a better place to be. I mean, she's a model student. She takes AP courses. She's involved in softball. I know she's involved in church activities outside of school. And she's been accepted to St. John Fisher, Roberts Wesleyan, MCC, GCC. And one last thing, since the 3 years I've been at Edison, I've seen Kelly in the hallways, seen her in the morning, and I don't think I've ever seen her without a smile on her face. Again, it makes, when I see her in the morning, it's early, but she always comes in with that smile on your face. It kind of starts the day off right. So again, it's an honor to introduce to you Kelly Hudson.
I would like to thank Mr. Moore for the nomination, and I'm very honored to receive the Susan B. Anthony Award. And I would also like to thank my mom and my family, and just thank you.
I am humbled by the opportunity to present Nicole, a great student from the School of Imaging and Information Technology at Edison, who will be graduating in June with distinction. So far, she's been accepted to 2 colleges and awaits additional offers. Over the last 3 years, Nicole has embarked on a journey with an increased level of maturity, compassion, and leadership. She's grown academically into an outstanding student. She's been a student ambassador to IIT. She's led student-generated activities and has the respect of her peers and other students and teachers. She's a God-fearing young woman, maintaining her faith in good and in tough times. She's a pleasure to work with on a daily basis. Here's briefly what one of her teachers has said about Nicole. I've known her since 9th grade to be kind, responsible, and courteous, a self-motivated student. She's demonstrated great leadership abilities while serving at Edison Skills USA president for the past 2 years. I've enjoyed her melodious voice on many occasions. She once sang the national anthem at one of our pep rallies. I've watched her grow over the 4 years she's been at Edison. She makes me proud to be her teacher. I extend hearty congratulations to her and her family. To all, I present to you Nicole Sneed.
I would like to thank God and my family and everybody in my school. And I would like to thank Susan B. Anthony for showing me the path that I needed to follow. Thank you.
Good evening again. It's an honor to be here. When I have to think about how to describe Fatima Thomas, the best way to describe her from my perspective and the faculty's perspective is when we're in our meetings and we're sitting around and we're talking about school culture and climate and how to improve, and we need student involvement, and we need that one student who you know has passion, determination, organizational skills, and follows through. Everybody says, "Where's Fatima Thomas?" Everyone says, "Let's go to Fatima Thomas." She is the epitome of a leader. She really has been a joy to work with over the past 4 years. Academically, she's ranked 4th in her class. She's been accepted to many schools: University of Cincinnati, Albany University, Virginia State University, Johnson C. Smith. She's waiting to hear back from Syracuse, which is what her mom is hoping for, so she can keep her baby close. And she's also waiting to hear back from Kent State. She was recently featured in the Rochester's Women magazine. She's been on the volleyball team for 4 years, and she's currently the student government president. So please, with great pleasure, I introduce Fatima Thomas.
Thank you. I just wanted to say thank you for the encouragement for bioscience student and staff, and Ms. Regan, thank you very much. And I want to say thank you for my mother. She's encouraged me for all my years, so thank you.
Good evening, folks. I am a relatively new member of the Franklin family, and so when I received the request for a nomination for this great award, I, of course, went to the staff. And unanimously, Kristen's teachers picked her as the candidate to receive this award. So I present to you Kristen Walker. I asked them also to give me a little writing, a little something about Kristen, since I am so green at knowing who she is. So if you allow me, I'll just read 2 or 3 words. Kristen Walker has embodied the definition of a scholar, a leader, champion of education. Her goal is to build bridges for the underdog. Her career path includes teaching, followed by becoming an administrator, and finally reaching the status of Secretary of Education, hopefully New York State. Kristen's lofty career objectives confirm that we are sending the message that we need the best individuals in education. Kristen is very personable, focused, motivated, and doesn't hide from challenges. Kristen is a well-rounded student involved in student government, as class president, of course, member of the bowling team, JV basketball, excuse me, the award-winning robotics team, and also participating in after-school presentations. The support that Reverend and Mrs. Walker have consistently given Kristen is immeasurable and a testament to how she has blossomed into an exemplary individual. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Hi, everybody. I just want to say thank you all for coming, and most importantly, I want to thank my parents and my family, Dr. Rodriguez and Mr. Eason, for nominating me. It's truly an honor, and I hope that I can live up to the standards that Susan B. Anthony has. Thank you.
You going to?
Good evening, folks. I would first of all like to thank the school board for continuing to create these kind of opportunities for us to recognize the sheroes among us, and I really appreciate that. I have Cordelia Smith, who is one of our students in the International Finance Career High School at Franklin. She is a young lady who reflects all of the attributes that we seek in our students. She is smart, carrying a 3.5 GPA, recently inducted into the National Honor Society. She's a caring young lady who volunteers in a shelter that supports homeless citizens. When I interviewed her, what she wanted me to said of her, when I interviewed her and asked what she wanted said of her at this ceremony, her immediate response was, quote, "Be sure to talk about the work that I do with my grandmother and the shelter for the homeless." Cordelia says that she cooks, cleans, talks with them, and tries to motivate them. Her character is intact. Her word is solid. She is polite, not only to adults, but to her peers, to younger students in the building. She demonstrates empathy and represents her family and our school well. Cordelia has worked through our Youth Apprentice program for 2 years at the Blue Cross Blue Shield office. Her interest in college is to major in business administration. A long-range goal of Cordelia is to open a poetry lounge, providing a venue for the community talent to be shown off. So she's seeking to provide voice, as Susan B. Anthony has done. This, she believes, would be the way for her to give back to the community. Of course, she has done volunteer work in her church. Cordelia has one older brother, making her the baby of the family. She says that she is a bit spoiled, but she deserves that. As a function of the partnership that our school has with the National Academy Foundation, an end-of-the-year dinner is hosted for the graduating seniors shortly. Cordelia has served as hostess, greeter, and all-around helper for 2 years. This year, she will be one of the guests of honors. In closing, I want to read a brief poem that she has written and asked me to read. Many nights I've cried, saying, dreams don't come true. Doubting myself cause of negatives, letting the positives pass through. Striving to do my best, hoping I can achieve. Learning to do just what I believe. I find myself searching all the time, waiting for that special moment to arrive, knowing that one day others will see what I used to see, and knowing what I believe. I want to introduce and welcome Cordelia Smith.
I would like to thank my principal, Mr. Abdul-Mateen, my mom, my grandma, so much. Thank y'all so much. My school, Franklin and Finance School, I am so honored to be receiving this award right now. I never received an award like this, and I would like to thank everybody for even showing up for their children and for everybody. This is a great honor, and I would just like to say thank you.
Behind the puffy hair and dimpled smile, which are both recognizable in our long school hallways, is a young woman who's shown determination, perseverance, and dedication throughout her 4 years at Wilson Magnet High School. In her sophomore year, she showed her emerging leadership skills by initiating and organizing a fundraising campaign for the Tour de Cure, a diabetes bike event. She networked with teachers, students, and local businesses to not only raise more than $500, but more importantly, to raise awareness about the prevention and treatment of diabetes. After the Tour de Cure, Maxine continued to push herself into new experiences and challenges inside and outside of school. One contribution to her community was as lifeguard for the city of Rochester, where she taught swimming and water safety to young boys and girls. Here are some of the things that Maxine's teachers say about her. What a wonderful young woman. She has a quiet confidence and maturity well beyond her years. Another says she embraces academic challenges and applies the hard work and dedication needed to succeed. Another, she deliberately seeks to make herself well-rounded and understanding with a balance of music, athletics, and volunteer work. Another states that she really listens to experienced people and sincerely reflects on their advice and philosophies of life. And finally, it's been wonderful watching her develop into such a capable and thoughtful person over the last 4 years. We'll miss her very much when she graduates. Maxine's mother was the driving force behind her success and challenges in high school. In May of 2006, her mother, Mary Wade, lost a 5-year battle with breast cancer. Before she passed away, however, her mom was able to be in the audience for Maxine's presentation on breast cancer at the University of Rochester, a memorable moment for both of them. Maxine has turned the sadness of her mother's illness and death into a mission to become an oncology pharmacist. At Wilson, we have every confidence that she will excel in her career. Ladies and gentlemen, I present you Maxine Humphrey.
Good evening. I just wanted to say thank you to all the teachers and supporters for supporting me throughout these years. It has not always been easy for me growing up. People have doubted me a lot, my abilities. And that's why I dedicate this award to my mother, who could not be here. And I will strive to make a difference in our community and our society and our country as well. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm very honored to introduce to you Kashina Amons as the School Without Walls nominee, or the winner of the Susan B. Anthony Award. A few things about Kashina that I think everybody should know, because I think she very much exemplifies many of the values and the traits of Susan B. Anthony. At School Without Walls, Kashina over the past 2 years has served as a peer educator for Action for a Better Community through their teen outreach program, educating the community on AIDS. She also, for the past 3 years, has served as a teen attorney in the Rochester Teen Court. She's been in the Math League for 2 years, has been on the robotics team for 2 years, and in PRISM for 2 years. That's PRISM, not prison. She also is a Urban League Black Scholar. She's already earned her Certificate of Employability. She earns full credit with outstanding evaluations from her teachers every year, and she's already been accepted to Roberts Wesleyan and Franklin Pierce College for the fall of 2007. The other thing that I wanted to mention is that at School Without Walls, we have a requirement that every student who graduates has to do an extensive senior project. And this year, I can't wait to see the exhibit of this one, but Kashina is studying the life, doing research on Gregory Hines, and also learning to tap dance. So that's going to be quite an experience when we see that. But I'm sure if Susan B. Anthony were here, she'd be very proud of you. So without further ado, Kashina Amons.
Thank you. Susan B. Anthony once said,
The older I get, the greater power I seem to have to help the world. I'm like a snowball. The further I roll, the more I gain. What I have gained from this is my intentions to come back to this community and help what gives me everything I have now. Going to school that was have taught me to help people. The teachers taught me how to be independent and to achieve my dreams. I have also learned to use the community as a resource to many aspects of my education.
Hi, my name is Tanya Poiser. I'm a teacher at the Young Mothers and Interim Health Academy. Ms. Ellison was ready to come up, but we're so fortunate that she's a registered nurse, so that's a blessing. Today, our recipient is Danielle. Danielle has over a 4.2 grade point average. I'm gonna say it again, because she has over a 4.2 grade point average. Danielle currently serves as a community member on the Rochester Children's Zone. She's a peer advisor to many students in our school. She has been accepted into MCC Early Recognition Program. And Danielle is setting a great example for her son, Jonathan, who is here. How old is Jonathan? Jonathan is a month old. So she's being a mother and a student. Some of her teachers couldn't be here tonight, so I'm going to briefly read off some of the comments they've said about Danielle. Danielle is extremely mature, enthusiastic about whatever she does, whether school or community. Her counselor, she's very responsible, conscientious, a student with a very warm and caring personality. And finally, her math teacher says Danielle is dependable, motivated, consistently successful in improving her skills, and works hard to do so. It's a great honor and pleasure to introduce Danielle Blackburn to you all.
I just want to thank Ms. Poiser and all my teachers at Young Mothers and my family for helping me to be successful as I am.
Thank you, President Garcia. We've done a wonderful job of staying on schedule this evening. Thank you, everyone. Before I ask Dr. Rivera to come forward to give closing remarks, I'd like to have the family members and the support members of all of the young awardees. I'd like to have you all stand, parents, friends, school community. Please stand so that we can give you a hand. Thank you. Thank you very much. We sincerely mean it here at the district and on the board when we say that it takes a community to raise a child, a student. And so we thank you for your role in helping your child meet us halfway. And with that, I'd like to ask Dr. Rivera to come forward. And following your closing remarks, our business meeting will begin at 6:30. Thank you very much, and congratulations again to our awardees.
First of all, I apologize for being a little late. I will say that this is, when I'm asked about what I like best about my job, it always rises to the surface. It's the opportunity to see our young people in action in schools and to recognize all of the terrific successes that we have throughout the system. I also have to tell you that I am a very highly qualified male to be talking about Women's History Month. I was raised by a single parent, my mother, who with a 4th grade education was very tough, very smart, very driven, who never took any nonsense, and she taught me very, very well. And in fact, she's 89 years old. She worked until she was 83. And I picked her up from the hospital on Sunday and brought her home, and all she did was complain all the way. So she still has that toughness about her. Then I was also raised in a household. I was the youngest, and I had 3 older sisters. So they whipped me into shape and taught me how to act, and I just want to acknowledge them, in particular my mother. But In particular, I want to say to all of you that, you know, the face of our country is changing. And I don't know if any of you remember the name. Does anyone remember the name Geraldine Ferraro? Vice presidential candidate, and you think back then, many, many years ago. Well, today we have an individual who could be a presidential candidate who is a woman. I go to superintendent meetings, and I see women superintendent. The future is in your hands. And don't let anyone ever tell you you can't do something. Always take it on as a challenge, because we need you, our country needs you, our state needs you, our city needs you. We need the leaders of folks who I saw, young ladies who I saw here tonight. And we love you for all the work that you do. God bless you, and congratulations to all of you. Thank you.